Hey fellow backyard warriors, Nick here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make PVC Siyahs like this. Now, this Siyah here is made from Schedule 80 pipe, so that's what I'm going to be using today. But you can do the same sort of things that I'm doing here with Schedule 40 pipe. The reason why I like Schedule 80 is because it's a little thicker, so it's more stable from side to side. Schedule 40 works really well for shorter siyahs or lighter weight bows. When you start getting into very long siyahs or really heavy bows, you start getting some flex, and that will actually, it could lead the bow to collapsing or could lead to stability issues. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this, and you're going to need 2 pieces of PVC pipe. This can be however long you want, and since we're going to be making this for a 3/4 inch bow, I'm using 1/2 inch pipe. If you wanted to make siyahs for a 1 inch bow, you could either use 3/4 inch pipe for a snug fit like this, or you could use the 1/2 inch pipe, and you would actually have to sort of crimp this area to get it to fit. But you can get it to work, and you can create some really nice effects that way as well. So we're just going to be making a really simple type of siyah. It's a little different than this particular one, but the basic idea is all the same. I've cut these to 10 inches, and that's going to give me 8 inches of exposed siyah with 2 inches hidden. But you can change this up however you like. Pretty much all you need are 2 pieces of pipe to start. So let's go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually put a taper into this siyah. What we want is the base to be almost full thickness, and then it's going to taper down to the end. That's going to give it a nice profile. It's going to allow it to cut through the air with less resistance, and it's just going to be a nice, attractive looking siyah. So what I'm going to do is I've got my heating trough here. I'm just going to heat it up. Then I'm going to put it here on my flattening board. And I've got my flattening jig set to 3/4 inch, which is the outside diameter of this 1/2 inch pipe. So here we go. I'm using my heat gun on the high setting. Alright, so now that it's flexible, what you want to do is place it on top of your flattening board. You bring the end of the flattening board, and this is a 3/4 inch to go with the outside diameter of this 1/2 inch pipe. Place it over. Take your first clamp, clamp it down. Take your second clamp, and then clamp that down until the end is completely flattened. Alright, so now that you've got that, you just need to let this cool, and once it's cool, we'll take it out and we'll do the rest of our shaping. Alright, so once it's cool, you just take your clamps up. Here it is. You've got the nice taper. So now we're going to go and heat our curve into it if you want it to have a curve. At this point you can shape it however you really want. So we're going to go ahead and put a curve into this. So here we go. Alright, the next step is to heat this up to heat the siyah up and put in our bends. At this point, you could do whatever you like. You could put deflex in this, reflex in this, you could make it wavy. Really, this is time to let your creativity just go crazy. So I'm just going to heat on this particular one. I'm just going to heat right around here and give it a nice curve. Just really slight. You could make this extreme. It's really up to you. So what I'm going to do is turn on my heat gun, just heat up this section until it gets soft, and then bend it. So here we go. So you want to heat this up just to the point where it will start to move, not to the point where it returns to its pipe shape. You can see already I can get some flex out of it. So you just want to, actually, yeah, that's enough heat. So you just want to take it off the heat and bend it the way you want it to have flex. So here it is. I'm just going to leave it like this and let it cool down. So I'll show you that once it's cool. Alright, so now that the siyah is cool, you can see it has a nice curve to it. It still has that taper. Once I grind the end here, everything will really flow together. So the next step is we're going to heat this end up and smash it at an angle so that when you insert it into a one size larger pipe, it'll actually serve as a sort of like a lock. It'll expand on the side so that when you press it in, it'll keep this from coming out just with friction. You don't actually need any glue, but you could use glue if you wanted to. Now, at this point, you could just leave this as is if you wanted to just insert it into the end of the pipe, like this bow, which the siyah was just inserted into the end of the pipe. Or you can go ahead and flatten or smash this end and insert it into the pipe like this. It'll just help that transition look a little more smooth. So let's do that. So I have my siyah right here. I'm just going to take my heat gun and heat up this end. Once it's soft, I'm going to basically just press it on this board at the angle I want. And this is where you can control what type of angle you want at the base of your siyah. Here we go. Okay, so now that it's soft enough, you just take it, press it down against the surface you're working with to whatever angle you want. So you should be using a hot pad or gloves for this because this is very hot. So you just want to press this down. And also take the time now to make sure that your siyah lines up straight and that it's not twisted from side to side. That way when you put the bow together, it'll be easier to get both sides even. So you just keep pressing, and here you can change the angle. So this is the angle that it's going to come out of the bow. It's going to give you a fair amount of reflex. You could change that angle however you want to sort of change the way the bow is going to end up. Here it is. So there it is. So you just want to hold this until it cools down. Once you've done that, we can actually start by putting in our knock, cutting our knock, and then we can start shaping this. So here we go. Here's our siyah. Now what I've done is I've made a mark, about a 1/4 inch mark, and it's about 1/8 of an inch from the end and about 1/2 an inch from the very end here. This is where we're going to be cutting our knock. Now there are many ways to cut knocks, and I've shown how to use tile saw and files before. today I'm going to show you how to use a drill. So what you're going to want to do is just drill your hole right here. So I'm using a 1/4 inch drill bit to correspond with this 1/4 inch marking. And there you go. So there's the start of our knock. So now I've got a 3/8 inch drill bit, and I'm just going to drill into this slightly to round off the edges. So there it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a file and just open this up. Here I have where the string knot is. So I take my Nock file. This is it's kind of halfway between a 1/8 and a 1/4 inch file. So what you want to do is place it in here and actually just file until it breaks through to the other side. Alright, so now it's connected through to the other side. You just want to go back and smooth this out. Alright, so all we need to do is just do some finish sanding here, some finish filing, and our knock is done. Now I have my siyah. What I like to do is I just take a file and I just round off the inside of the knock. I'm just rounding this off so that this knock won't fray strings. It'll help the strings last longer, and it'll just look nicer in the end. So here's our pretty much finished knock. I'm going to go afterward with a little bit of sandpaper to really round these edges off and take off any of the burrs that are left. And then what you want to do is take your end here and just go with the file and lightly take off any raised edges. You just want to round this off so it doesn't create any strange lumps when you insert it into the other pipe. And there it is. That's all you really need to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grind this on my grinder. You could use a file or you could use a saw. And really this is where you can let your creativity come out again. You can make this any shape you want. You can angle it back like this. You can leave it straight. You can bring a taper like this, an extreme taper. You could just round off the tip, whatever you like. So I'm just going to pretty much just round the tip off. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Here's the finished siyah. I went ahead and I just round this top portion to get the shape I wanted. Now even with schedule 40 you could still grind this considerably, and actually you can see where it opened up on the back. If it opens up on you, you just heat this up gently and then you can press this down and cool it, and then you can grind it. And this line is very faint, though if you wanted to you could fill it with a little bit of epoxy putty or something similar. But here it is. Now you can treat it just as you would any wooden siyah. Now this will work really well with the horse bow with wooden siyahs. You use that same core design, you just use these instead. And I'm going to be showing you guys in a couple videos coming up soon how to actually make a bow and mount this with a slightly different technique to making the bow. But here it is. Once you've got that one, you just go ahead and you copy everything, match them together, make sure the curves match, the ends match. Here you go. You've got one set of PVC Siyahs. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.